in a Flash project, we often want to be able to have a link that goes to a particular website. And especially if we have an application that's running on the web, we may want to have it go to another site in another window, or replace the current window with a new website. But even in a standalone project, you may have some advertising where people can click and go to another website, or maybe your online help might be a web page. So here is the way that we connect to a web page or navigate to a website in ActionScript. And I've got two examples here. The first one, I've got a function called GoWikiFranklin, and basically the same procedure we've been using in terms of a function name, the event that it's handling, so this would be in response to somebody clicking on a link or on a button. It's not going to return anything. And I have a variable named URL. And I could have named this variable anything I wanted, but URL seemed to make sense. And typically variable names begin with a lowercase letter. If they're just one word, it's all lowercase. And then a colon string. So this is a string variable. It's going to contain alpha characters. And I'm going to set it equal to a literal string. And it's a literal string. It's in quotes, so the compiler would ignore it. And it's going to be the address of the website that I'd want to go to, including the http://. So in this case, I'm going to Wikipedia for an article on Benjamin Franklin. Then I have to create a URL request object. It's another data type, and I use a variable again to do that, and I just named it wiki. And it equals a new URL request, and then it takes an argument of the website, and rather than specifying the web address, I simply put in the string that holds that web address. And then the third statement is the method that actually launches that web address in either the current window or another window, and that's navigate to URL. And again, remember the case sensitivity here is very important. So it's all lowercase, capital T, capital URL. The site I want to go to is my URL request of wiki, and then my second argument is separated by a comma, and here I specify a literal string of underscore blank, and what that will do is it creates a new window in my browser and goes to this website. Now here's a second example, basically doing the same thing, but in this example I combined these two statements where I'm creating the URL string and the wiki URL request into one statement. I'm simply creating a URL request equals, and I named this one PBS, equals new URL request, and then rather than specifying a string variable, I just went ahead and put the string, the literal string of the address in the parentheses. And then I navigate to PBS. In this case, I'm navigating to self. It's going to go into the current window. So if I was running this on a web page, it would basically replace my current website with this one that I'm requesting at pbs.org. There are 4 different values you can specify here in terms of these windows. And this is from the help.adobe.com webpage. If you look up ActionScript 3 navigate to URL, you just do a Google search on ActionScript 3 navigate to URL and you'll find this page. So I copied from that page. Here are the 4 different options: self, blank, parent, and top. I pretty much exclusively use self or blank, and most times I'm going to use blank. I want it to come up in a new window, or if I'm running on creating a Air package or something that's running on a mobile device with Adobe Air, I want it to launch the browser, and so I'm going to use underscore blank. There's also an underscore parent and underscore top, and those kind of go back to frame-based websites, which are no longer very popular. Nobody really uses those much anymore. So pretty much self and blank are the 2 choices that we tend to use today. So the way I would do this is I would go find the website that I want to launch to. And I'm going to bring up one here on Bill Clinton and get the web address. So there's the web address. I'm going to use a Wikipedia site. I'm going to copy that address to my clipboard. And then I'm going to go back to our Flash project we've been working on with those presidents. And I have my button here that I want to create we have a rollover event where it puts the president's name down here, and a rollout where it puts Mr. President. I want to add a click event to this button, so when the user clicks on Bill Clinton, it's going to take the user to a web page for more information about him. So I select that button, and the name of the button was Clinton_BTN. I'm going to go back to our actions. And I'm going to select this Clinton_BTN add event listener. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it down here at the bottom of my event listeners. Instead of a rollover, I want to use a click event. And I'll create a function called GoClintonWiki. And then I need to add that function in. I'll just do it here at the top. So we have function GoClintonWiki. I'm going to use a mouse event, respond to a mouse event. It's not going to return anything. Do my curly brackets, and I'll go ahead and create a variable. I'm just going to call it BC Web, or Bill Clinton Web. It's going to be a string variable, and it's going to equal. Oops, I copied over my my website. Let me go back to get that address. So there is my website that I want to go to, the Wikipedia website on Bill Clinton. I'm going to create another variable, which I'll call BC Wiki. It's going to be a type URL request, and it's going to equal a new URL request. It's going to be BC Web. And then my third statement here is to navigate to URL, and I want to navigate to BC Wiki. That's my URL request, and I'm going to bring that up into a blank, the lowercase, a blank web browser, and that's my code. Double check everything. I'm going to click the blue check mark, make sure there's no errors. So far everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and close that browser window that I had for Bill Clinton. And then I'm going to launch my project. So I'm going to click on Bill Clinton, and it takes me to that website.